Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to our neck of the woods. How are you guys doing today? That is wonderful news, Anna. I just read that. Thank you so much for sharing that. So exciting. Uh, Today, 11/11. I know it also is Veterans Day. Thank you to our vets. You know who you are. We are sending you our love and appreciation. Um, so many wonderful things happening. Um, just the energy today is just, for us here, it's very wonderful. It's very um, gosh, I don't even have a word to describe it. um, but such a wonderful day. Really good energy today. Um, I even got dressed up for today. uh, I don't know. I think it's a day of celebration. It seems like a day of celebration. And I hope everyone out there agrees with me. Um, not even looking for events to take place or anything, just celebrating the day for what it is, right? Being grateful and thankful for getting up and putting my feet on the floor. Um, all the little things that we can be grateful for, being grateful for each other, for our communities. Um, I don't know. Today seems like it seems like a brand new start again. I don't know why, but that's the energy I feel, and it's wonderful and amazing. And I'm so happy for you, Anna. Very happy for you, and for Sage. She gets to come home. That means she's probably eating. Yes. Thank you, Anna. Bonnie actually gave this to me. Bonnie sent this to me. And I fell in love with it as soon as I saw it. Well, she didn't send it to me. She sent these for Raina and I. And since Raina and I pretty much share clothes right now, she is, uh, we've graciously agreed to share this since we both enjoy it. We both thought it was the loveliest thing. Hello, Linda, and welcome. Now, I don't know. I know at least two of you are veterans. I know Love Pugs and Pappy, and we appreciate you. Just so you know, uh, we appreciate you that you served for the betterment of humanity. What does anybody want to come up and chat today? Um, Anybody else feeling this new wave of energy coming in, kind of like the I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Birth of a new civilization. I don't know. I just feel like it's a very, very wonderful day. And I was tempted to not do a show today so that Jeff and I could finish up everything because we're so close to getting certain areas of the house finished up that it's very exciting for us. Um, and he just put the last panel on the ceiling of the bedroom. So as soon as I'm done with the show, we'll be in there doing the little putty thing and getting ready to paint. Hey, Chuck, good to see you. LHS, Robert, anybody that I didn't say hi to, hello and welcome. Um, so I'm really hoping somebody comes up and chats soon because uh, I feel really good, but I don't always feel like talking when I feel this good. Um, I don't know. I could just sit here and probably rock back and forth, be perfectly content. Yeah, it's wonderful. I mean, you can. It's in the air, you know that that peace, that contentment, that it's even more than that. It's a freedom in a different sense of the word. Um, you have to throw away the definitions you've learned for that. I think. but there's a freedom in it. There is a unbridledness, there's no it feels very open, very immense today. I got to sleep in today because I stayed up late last night watching the fire. So Jeff let me sleep in, and I woke up and put my feet on the floor. It was 11:11 on 11:11, and I thought, wow, that's crazy talk, being up this late, but or waking up so late. But honestly, I wonder if that wasn't something intentional, you know. Um, Today is a day, I believe. Today is a day to see miracles. Um, when I feel the energy like this, and it's so good, you know, um, it reminds me to look for those. It reminds me to look for those miracles so that I can see them. Um, so I don't know what are you guys' takes on any of this? Um, how do you guys feel about it? Just another day to you? Are you feeling the love today? Oh, right on, love. It's wonderful when I don't care what age you are. It's wonderful to spend time with small children and their wonderment of life. The way they view life. It brings so much joy to our hearts because we remember those times where we were less concerned with the this and the that, and we were more concerned with wow, wow, and everything was new to us. And I think it's important that we remember that sense of wonderment that we had when we were little. Um, I know for me, I didn't notice it as much with my sons as I do with Raina. Um, and maybe because I was younger then and I didn't see things the way I do now. But it's sometimes very difficult in the world we live in to encourage our children to retain that sense of wonderment. Um, and so I think it's really important and vital that we do, but we also encourage that sense of wonderment within ourselves as well. Um, I think that probably makes for a better life, I think. So yeah, I even my husband found my necklace. See this? This was my gift for our first anniversary, and my husband I had admired this in a store that we had gone to, and I thought, oh, that's gorgeous, and it has abalone shell in it, and at the time, dragonflies would come land on me all the time, and there was just a lot of dragonfly activity in my life at that point. And he had bought that for me, and he gave it to me on our very first anniversary. And for a while, it had gotten misplaced. And he found it for me the other day, and he polished it up as best he could. And I thought, you know, I'm going to wear my dragonflies today. Uh, and I have spent my day so far, which hasn't been much of a day so far, but I've spent my day so far um, really focusing my attention towards creating that beautiful new world that I want to step into, right? Um, Keeping my focus on that has helped me to really feel invigorated by all this wonderful feeling. And it's gorgeous outside here. It's probably one of the last nice days we'll have, but it is absolutely amazing. And then when the wind blows, the last of the leaves are coming off the trees, and there's a fresh crispness in the air that you get with fall. And I love it. I love it. Yes, Pappy. Yeah. That moment right before where you catch your breath. So would anybody like to join me up here? I don't exactly have a campfire, but um, I do have a welcoming heart. I spent a little bit of time this morning enjoying some of Navajo teachings. There's a gentleman that does small segments on Navajo teachings on YouTube, and I have been watching him off and on um, for I want to say about a year and a half. I found him about a year and a half ago, and it's really for me. It's very interesting. Um, there are so many parts of those teachings that um, resonate with me. They do, but there are some that don't. Um, it's not that they don't resonate. Let me see. What's the way to say it? There's some that really resonate with me, and there are some that are like, oh, that's nice. And I'm not sure where that comes from. There's some that really resonate with me. I do try to pay attention to those things. Hey Chuck, how you doing, my Badger brother?
I'm here. One of them dull days to me. I'm not real chatty.
Well, thanks for coming up.
I didn't want to leave you all alone.
I appreciate that. You know, I get to blathering if you leave me alone too long. It's not even blabbering, it's blathering.
Kind of take meaningless branches almost when you try to talk aimlessly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that reminds me. You just reminded me the dream I had last night that we were all part of the same tree. It was
Hmm.
pretty it was pretty cool. It was like all these different not really faces. They weren't really faces or names. It was more like a energy signature. And we were each branches of this one uh beautiful tree. And on this tree there were different types of leaves and different types of flowers and different fruits and nuts, and it was really remarkable. Uh, that was a pretty cool dream.
I was just watching a little bit of the stuff, speaking of dream, about how people not getting along, and it somehow or another I got on looking at stuff, and it's about that Kyle Rittenhouse trial, and now there's a lot of people didn't even they thought that he went to a BLM rally and shot a bunch of black people.
And that is the sad state of our union, our country. Um, I see so many misunderstandings and misinterpretations because people were following people rather than following their spirit. And I think really, I mean, you can break it down as many times as you want to, but the essence of it is people keep following people, and they're not even trying to do their own work, their own research, looking into anything. They are very comfortable with making snap decisions based on what somebody else has said, and that's a sad state of a lot of the people that are in our world right now. Hey, lively prepper,
Hey,
welcome
lively.
to um I don't know, that really saddens me um a lot because we're all given the ability to think for ourselves. And granted, it's trained out of a lot of people through schooling and whatnot, but the opportunity does become yours um, once you've reached adulthood to continue going on, proceeding in that manner, or to start thinking for yourself and using your brain. Um,
You remember yesterday when I said how people's words breathed life? That's right there. Somebody's stupid words breathed life into a completely different story.
Yeah. Let's breathe life into the story we want today.
Yeah, I think it all ought to come to a clean wash today. It'd be a nice day for it.
I think that would be lovely. Marilyn, thank you for joining us. Lonnie, it's great to see you. Um, Marilyn said today is her son's birthday that she lost. Marilyn, that high energy, that warm fuzziness, I want you to feel it right now. Just feel a big warm fuzzy hug. And I want you to think about your son and all the good things in his life, all those wonderful memories of holding him as a child and watching him grow and teaching him to ride his bike and all those good things. And celebrate the wonderment that you had while he was here.
Yeah, be thankful he doesn't have
That's
to face all this coming too.
And that's true. Yeah. Be thankful he hasn't had to see this chaos that is trying to encompass us. I don't feel any of that today. I feel, gosh, it's going to sound weird, but I almost feel like a bubble. Like there's this energetic bubble, right? You shout out past. I won't let you. I feel so good today.
Maybe that's my problem. I feel void and empty of it. Maybe something is going on, and I just like it's like I'm just a blank sheet today, sort of.
I was going through that the other day, and I had mistakenly labeled it, and I don't remember Pappy's words about that exactly. But that might be your energies rebalancing even. I don't know. Chuck. I know there was a day where I felt disconnected, disinterested, disassociated, and I think we all go through that. It's part of the cycle. So you may just be in reboot mode right now and you're waiting for the computer to start back up.
Yeah, because I don't feel bad. I'm not angry and none of that kind of stuff. It's just weird.
Just kind of like floaty, huh?
Yeah, like therefore I am. That's about.
You keep that because I am is important. I am is important. Hi, Pappy. Oh, Pappy's got the coon bunch up. Bum, bum, bum. Is that a cat?
Yeah, cat on top.
I gotta see that.
Blend in. Blend in. Become part of the energy you're around. and maintain your own innocence and maintain your own energy. I'm hoping that everybody is fabulous today, even though you might not feel like it. What's coming out the other side is coming pretty good. You know why I'm sounding this way? Because I just kind of came across a little teaching, and it's synchronistic once again, Heather, because you were talking about the Hopi and doing some studying on those people. Well, the teaching for today is Whirling Rainbow of the Hopi.
Oh, I would love you to share that with us.
I think everybody will get something out of this. Okay, with the energies and stuff that's going on now, we've talked about the transitions that are happening, the energy shifting that's going on. People are dying to old ways and coming into new ways and new understandings and stuff. So maybe this has something to add to perhaps your understanding of maybe what's going on. Maybe we can put something together here. So let's take a look at it. To the Navajo and the Hopi, the swirling or whirling rainbow woman is the bringer of the friendly rains that nurture the three sisters, the corn, the squash, and the beans, during the summer so that the people will be fed. Many times an image of the whirling rainbow is created in their sand paintings, an ancient sacred healing art performed by the medicine clans of those nations. The whirling rainbow woman comes from all four directions and curves like a swastika, covering all directions. The outside of the sacred circle is protected by another whirling rainbow woman bending her body in the space below, creating a cup shape to catch the rain and protect the circle. Without the rain, the three sisters will die and the people will not be fed. The whirling rainbow is a promise of peace among all nations and all peoples. The rainbow race stresses equality and opposes the idea of a superior race that would control or conquer other races. The rainbow race brings peace through the understanding that all races are one. The unity of all colors, all creeds working together for the good of the whole, is the idea that is embodied in the whirling rainbow. When all pathways to wholeness are respected by all cultures, the prophecy of the whirling rainbow will be completed. Now, there was a prophecy concerning this, and some of you will understand this prophecy as I read this next section. Okay? And she goes on to say that when I lived in Mexico and worked with the grandmothers, the Dreamtime Buffalo Society or Sisterhood, they had many prophecies derived from seers and dreamers that had come down through the ages. The prophecy of the whirling rainbow was very specific. When the time of the white buffalo approaches, the third generation of the white-eyed children will grow their hair and speak of love as a healer of the children of earth. These children will seek new ways of understanding themselves and others. They will wear feathers and beads and paint their faces. They will seek the elders of the red race and drink of their wisdom. These white-eyed children will be a sign that the ancestors are returning in white bodies, but that they are red on the inside. They will learn to walk the Earth Mother in balance again and reform the ideas of the white chiefs. These children will be tested as they were when they were red ancestors by unnatural substances like firewater to see if they can remain on the sacred path. The generation of flower children that have moved through this part of the prophecy, and some have remained on the sacred path. Others were lost for a while and are now returning to the natural way of being. Some were disillusioned and have forgotten the high ideals that gave them life when their hearts were young, but others still are waking up and quickening into the understanding. So, in the Seneca traditions, which is part of what I am, I'm Iroquois, so I'm part of the Iroquoian nation as the Seneca were. They are taught many uses of the whirling rainbow of peace. When we're having difficulty in any situation, we visualize the whirling rainbow of peace encircling the situation, the people involved, and the disharmony. Then we twinkle our eyes with joy, sending our inner peace to the situation. In using this technique and following it with ceremony, we place our intention inside the swirling rainbow of peace. In other words, we put our intent in motion in this swirling rainbow and send it out. Our intention follows the Iroquois Peace Confederacy tradition that uses the 12 cycles of truth to bring peace. The 12 cycles of truth are as follows. Number 1, learning the truth. Number 2, hearing the truth. Number 3, presenting the truth. Number 4, loving the truth. Number 5, serving the truth. Number 6, living the truth. Number 7, working the truth. Number 8, walking the truth. And being grateful for the truth. Okay? And that's how truth embodies love. When we invite total truth into our sacred space, we shatter the bonds of separation and illusion that create discord. The whirling rainbow of peace destroys the lies that have made the children of the earth mistrust one another and replaces the illusion of separation with the truth of harmony, of unity. When the whirling rainbow woman of the Navajo and the Hopi brings the cleansing and regenerative rains of the Earth Mother, her children are also cleansed and healed. When the rainbow of peace of the Seneca encircle each person's sacred space, all will walk in truth, respecting the sacred space of others, and the harmony of living on Earth will be restored. These knowing systems are the teachings of the warriors of the rainbow, who are sisters and brothers uniting the fifth world and working for peace. Now, you out there need to know that we are the generation they were talking about that are the rainbow warriors. It is us. Like I've told you many times before, we are the generation that the elders and the ancestors spoke of. So how do you apply it? If the whirling rainbow has appeared, you're being asked to remove any type of discord from your life in order to grow. Don't feed the negativity. Look at any lessons being presented to you at this time and learn from them. Then focus your attention on creating new beauty and abundance in your life. If you pay attention to the negativity, you give it life. If you give it life, it'll give you energy back. And it is not good energy. Okay? You pay attention to it by acknowledging that it's there and saying, this is something that's unhealthy for me. And you make moccasin tracks away in whichever way that you can. Do not allow yourself to be caught in the quicksand of petty tyrants or those that don't know any better. A true worthy opponent will present lessons to make you grow beyond any high drama and into a sense of unity with yourself. Other petty tyrants are not worthy of your attention or your energy. All they're doing is eating it. You're allowing them to be a leech on your energy and on your spirit. You need not take on the issues of others when the discord is due to their lack of unity within themselves. Do not take up another's problems. Okay? You allow yourself to become infected. Encircle any discord with a whirling rainbow of peace that you're generating from within yourself now. And consider the unity you have with the great mystery. When you keep your eye on the goal and your feet on the sacred path of beauty, then you're in balance, then you're in harmony. Remember that any challenges to unity are equal to your ability to overcome them. And that's a reinforcement and a validation of what I've told you over and over and over before. You are more powerful than you let yourself believe. Because the belief is power in itself. So if you change your belief, you change your thinking, you change your energy pattern, and you activate that energy pattern on the whirling rainbow and send it out. By the time it comes around the outer edges of that whirling rainbow and comes back to you, it comes back to you with full measure of what you've sent out, which is good energy. Have fun riding the rainbow and the tornado, folks, because it's time.
Pappy, I love our synchronicity. I know I was meant to be born into your tribe.
We were all born into the time we are in.
Yes.
for a reason.
And I am honored to know each of you. I just want you guys to all know that. I am so honored to be a part of this journey with you guys. It's amazing. It is truly amazing.
Well, I want to ask Chuck a question. You mind me asking you a question there, Mr. Badger?
I'm good. Go ahead.
Okay, have you ever seen have you watched any nature films or anything of a badger in its environment?
Yeah.
Okay, you ever watch them and see how fast they can dig a hole into the ground?
Yeah.
Okay, so when you get around this negative stuff, okay, you paint that picture in your mind of that badger taking those front and those back feet and just throwing dirt all over that negative shit because he's digging a hole to bury it in.
Yeah, I always have to remember, like if you talk, a badger gives zero shits.
Well, he can give a lot of dirt in their eyes and keep distracted until the hole's big enough he can push them in it.
Yeah, I read something the other day, and you probably read it before, and it's an old poem or saying or something from the Indians is about your soul would see no rainbows if not for the eyes tears.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Everything is a teaching. It all depends on what you see in it. And if you look for the teachings and everything, you'll see lots of stuff. Some of it's surprising. You said, oh, I didn't know that's why I reacted that way.
Yeah.
I think I can feel it too. I do. I feel it. That painting that I showed while you were doing your teaching, Pappy, I painted that, I don't know how many years ago, over 20 years ago. And it was one of my very first attempts at just freeform painting without, it was something I did for me, right? It wasn't something that I had done for someone else. And I called it Waves of the Mother. And ironically, I just uploaded that as a little icon, the picture of that painting, just 2 days ago. And when you were reading that, I could feel the feeling that I felt when I painted that. I don't know how to explain it. It was like a coming home. You know, that coming home feeling?
Yeah, the worst part of that feeling when you're leaving.
Well, let's take another quick look at that picture. Hold it up there and put it full screen again and have everybody look at it. Okay, what we were just talking about in the teaching. Okay, does anyone see something that has come from the past? Now remember, there is no time and distance and that sort of stuff when we're dealing with spiritual energy. Okay, the whirling rainbow and the rainbow of peace. Okay, everything moves in a circular pattern. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a perfect circle. It doesn't necessarily mean that it oscillates at the same frequency or whatever. It doesn't mean that it's got perfectly drawn symmetrical lines in it. It means it is a living thing both in and out. And if you look at this painting right here, you can see the power and the energy in this painting, and you can see how it breaks apart the darker stuff and it transmutes it. It buries it. It sends it through the portal. It sucks it in and it sends it out. It sucks it in and it sends it out. Our energy systems do this also. So from 20 years ago, it comes up in a painting again because it's time.
And everything does have its time, doesn't it?
Sometimes more than one time.
This is true. This is true. And we think about, I would ask you all to think about the circle, right? We talk about circles. We talk about, Pappy, you're talking about the whirling and the swirling. everything is cyclical. Everything. We cycle everything. Right? I mean, we call it the circle of life. There's no mistake in the sacredness of a circle and how we apply that every single day, right? If you look at our history, if you look at like the picture of the pot that you had up yesterday, Pappy, it was in a circle. It was community in a circle, gathered in a circle. And when we gather around campfires, it's traditionally in a circle. There's something to be said about no beginning and no end, about that ever change, that ever movement, that flowing, that yes. And so even historically, we knew the sacredness of a circle. We knew that was energy, that it flowed. It did not begin and end. It did not break. It churned.
The first lesson of the circle, for those that have the ability to see and look around them,
Sent you something heavy.
And the ears to hear what the inner voice is saying, is that we originated from source and we go back to source. That's the first circle. And we're all in a circle, everything. We're born. From the minute we're born, we're spending minutes to when we die and take off our earth robe. That's a circle. The birds make their nest in a circle. Rain falls from the sky and it takes up a spherical form. That's a circle. The day and the night, they make circles. Okay, so yes, that's a powerful, powerful symbol. And like that medicine card that I pulled the other day, the shield that has no face on it, has no figure on it, it's blank. If you stop and look at it, that's the original first circle. And within it contains everything. So everything is a circle. Even the negative stuff we come encounter with that affects us and stuff, it enters into our circle for a reason, for us to interpret what it is. What is it doing to us? And we in turn have to put it in a circular motion. We either say we decided we're going to circle it into our collection basket and keep it, or circle it out of our sacred space. Okay, whip it on out. Do 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 do.
To the east side.
I just saw the strangest thing pop up. Oh, never mind. Now I understand what it is. The message split. I thought I didn't type that. I didn't realize. Thank you, Chuck. That is beautiful. When we sit in the circle of the people, we must be responsible because all creation is related, and the suffering of one is the suffering of all, and the joy of one is the joy of all. And whatever we do affects everything in the universe.
The butterfly effect.
Yeah.
That's the Lakota guy galaxy.
Just so amazing.
Chuck, I want you to understand something, okay? You're going through a transition as many people are, okay? Before it can be effective here in the material plane, we must first undergo the changes in our spiritual energetic makeup. And that's where Creator is doing the work so that the robe that you're wearing now and the life that you're living now in the material will be able to change according to the new diagram that has been put within you, the new programming. It's kind of like being defragged in your computer and then reprogrammed and updated.
It's like a molting.
Well, yeah, you could look at it that way too. Or a melting. A refining.
Now, this is a great melting pot. which I always thought that was a beautiful way to look at this land, as a melting pot, as us all coming together and forming something new and something different.
Yeah, if you think about
When I
it,
was-
the ones that are the problem are creating the divide, which should stand out to other people. All the stuff that these people are doing, to not even listen to them because they're problems between everybody.
I want to put something out there for you guys to consider. I'm going to ask a question. Now, before the colonial period, before the explorer period, before the discovery period, so to speak, here on Turtle Island, there was mostly the same types of people. Okay. And then different cultures started coming in from all around the world. If you stop and take a look at our country right now and think of all the different nationalities and things that are here now, and then we call it the melting pot. Okay. The question I'm going to ask is, what if through all of time, of all the separation of the different nations and cultures around the world being separate the whole time and being apart from each other, that the time was that they would come together into a melting pot, go through the furnace of purification, and come out the other side as a unified new metal. Once again, I'm thinking of Creator's math. 1 + 1 does not equal 2. Millions plus millions do not equal millions. It equals another new one. Are we in the right place at the right time to see this happen?
Yes, I believe we are.
It doesn't mean it's not going to be turmoil. We didn't see it coming because we're like the frog in the pan. We didn't notice the gradual heat rising. What do you think about that idea?
He'll cook to death before he even realizes it.
Well,
I would say
somebody
this.
jumped out of the pot.
I would give you this for our melting pot discussion. In light, all colors equal white. In physical, all colors equal black.
And it's basically saturation of and exempt of.
But all colors are present in both of those things. When I mix paint, I can make black. I cannot make white. In light, I can make white. I cannot make black. So the melting pot no matter how many colors you put in, are going to make a brand new color. You know, that 1 + 1 equals a brand new 1.
Mhm.
It's going to make a brand new color. And it's going to be, I think, determined by whether we are talking about light or whether we are talking about the physical plane, whether we are viewing that from a sense of the prism of the divine source, or whether we're viewing that from the bottom of the cauldron, so to speak.
I look at the melting pot as like a pot of gumbo. The more you add to it, meaning people, is like just another layer of flavor.
That is a very good analogy.
And next day, the leftovers have absorbed all the flavors and taste even better.
Even better together.
Yep.
Mingled.
Now,
So I
anybody on panel been keeping track of the comments?
I've been trying to.
We have some wise people with us today. Everybody in here is teaching each other. Like attracts
Yes.
like. We got some elders in here.
We always seem to have I know we have the best conversations on panel, but you guys don't think that we've missed the best conversations you guys have in chat. I think it's amazing, the family that we do have here, Pappy. I think you're right. We have so many really wise people, and in the wanting to help each other, that wisdom comes out, right?
There's people talking about absorbing needlessly. There's people talking about how to do a giveaway of that which you don't need, that's unhealthy for you. There's people in there talking about how you support one another and offer strength, and that's part of the loaning process, I see people in here saying, "Oh my God, here's some extra eggs for you," and the next time they come over, they well, look, here's an extra stick of butter I had. How did you know I needed butter? I see that happening. Okay, you guys
Yes.
are great. And Robert's fibbing. He says he's only 15.
I know, right? Well, if you're 15, then I don't know what age I am, because I know you're my big brother. He has big brother energy, kind of like Chuck does too. Yep. Chuck reminds me of big brother energy.
Yeah, I'm the one you come tell they're picking on me, go beat them up.
That's right.
Yeah, you're totally big brother energy.
That's right. Don't mess with my back.
We'll call you Al. You can be our bodyguard.
Don't mess with my badger guy.
If you be our bodyguard, we'll be your long lost friend.
Mm-hmm.
Go get him, Badger.
I think I figured out what my problem is today. It's I think it's a reflection day.
Well, that's wonderful.
Oh, I love it.
Reflection is vital to being able to grow, I believe.
Hi, Lisa.
But you guys have heard me say time and time again how great a teacher hindsight is, right? You can't get hindsight without reflection.
Okay,
Sad but true.
Greta says she's probably older than any of us. I don't know. We'll have to put that to the test.
I'd say she's been around for 120 years.
Hello.
I'm one of the babies. I know I am, but that's okay. I'm used to that. That's in my family. I am the youngest in my family. I'm the youngest of all my cousins. I was born of the youngest child, and so I've always, throughout my entire life, had the wonderful gift of being able to hang out with older people. And also it was kind of a twofold, like a double-edged sword, because there was always the feeling that I didn't fit into the generation I was born into, but I always felt very comfortable with people of other older generations. So it doesn't bother me to be the baby. I'll be the baby. It's okay.
Did you catch the key word that Chuck mentioned a little while ago? I'm sorry. I talked over you, Chuck. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was just wondering if you happened to catch on the key word that you mentioned earlier before. Mirror.
Go ahead, Pappy. I'm sorry.
No, he had mentioned the mirror, that he was being a mirror.
Ah, reflective.
Well, a mirror can be a couple of things, okay? depends on who's looking in the mirror. If they're looking into a mirror that you're holding them, or if you're looking into a mirror that they're showing you. Okay. If you are a mirror for them, okay, hopefully you are reflecting back to them what they're showing you. If you are looking into their mirror, keep in mind that what everything in that mirror is showing is reversed.
Yeah.
Okay. Which means that the mirror that they have is reversing it to you. And how you handle those energies, the intent of using the mirror indicates what its purpose is for. So, Chuck, if you're holding up a mirror for somebody else because they're spouting on you, the intent for them should be to learn the lesson the mirror is going to teach them. Okay. Now that can be good or bad, or hopefully that the lesson is that they will see an opportunity to make a choice which is wiser than the one they just made.
Yeah,
Does that make any sense to you?
Yeah, always look at yourself before you point fingers, pretty much. You're making me think of something way back my uncle said to me. We were talking about something one day, and he looked at me. He goes, "You're the youngest and the oldest and the one in the middle." He goes, "What are you?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "You're the only child."
Me, myself, and I.
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
Fred used to talk in weird riddles. It made sense to me now. A lot of the stuff when I remember, but it didn't then.
It's funny how things come back in memory like that years and years later, you know.
I think Fred went to Woodstock, matter of fact. I know he was in Alaska quite a few times, and that shaman buddy, he was like a medicine man for him or whatever. And kind of wish I didn't hang around with him more when I became a teenager and stuff. I started doing my own thing. And
well, that's normal.
To mean if you get a song in your head that you don't even know what the words mean, but you just feel it. You can hear it.
Then you need to remember it. Play that song and listen to it. Maybe it'll come back.
Oh, it's not a song I can play. I don't know the language.
Okay.
I mean,
let me put you out there. Oh my goodness! Here you go.
oh no! Hi, Sir Lix-a-Lot.
Stop. That's enough. He's not going to stop. But anyways, the teaching is this. Stop, you big mouth. A lot of Native American songs are not spoken in a language at all. It is what are called vocables. They're not words. They are expressions of sound that carry with it the emotions and the energy. It's the human vocal cords being used as a musical instrument to convey information. So you can hear music and have what you think is a language in it that is not a language at all. In our way of understanding language and words and context and things of that nature, yet it is a language. It's the language of the heart. Okay, It's a spiritual language, just like spirit knows each of you by a special name that we may not ever be able to pronounce. Okay, so yeah, I can understand you having a song in your head that you can't understand. Understand the feelings that it's evoking in you, because when you step across, when you're a two-legged and you got one leg in both worlds. When you lift up the leg of the material world and stand fully on the leg that's in the spiritual world, now you can feel colors. Huh? Now you can hear texture. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It doesn't work under the same physics that we're used to. So see with the eyes of the heart, hear with the ears of the heart, understand with the spirit. Then the wisdom will grow on how you can apply it in your life. You're the only one that can carry it into the material world after you learn those profound things in the spirit world. You have to bring it back. That's why you are the go-between. And when you bring it back and implement it, then it becomes fact.
How do I implement that?
By doing something with it. Could be something simple like just humming it in your head and dancing to it. You're bringing it here and putting it right here. You know, that's why I always say, if people say, well, I'm going to go to this sacred space, or I'm going to go to that sacred space. It isn't the place that makes you sacred. The place is no different than any place else. It is what has been done there and the energy that's been put into it that makes it sacred. Because the material, even the earth we stand on, and one building block put on top of another that is said to be sacred, is part of the physical. And it, like anything else, is destined to turn back into grains of sand in the hourglass of time. The energy that's put into it, that does not degrade, that does not rot, that just transforms into a different type of energy. It is immortal. That's what makes it sacred, is you and your intent when you go there to these places. Now, you
Yes.
can absorb some of that energy that's there if you're receptive. Those that are receptive to energy can absorb that good energy that's there, and in turn allow it to trigger your own switches to turn on your good energy, and you build upon it, you add to it. That's the giveaway coming back to you, and you in turn give away. You add yourself. You put your energy into the melting pot.
Well, you're making my energy flare up. My hands are so hot. I'm not complaining, but I can feel it.
Good time to wash the dog then if your hands are cold. I mean, if your hands are hot.
Well, all I have is 2 cats left, so I don't think they'd appreciate that very much.
I'm sorry if my dog got everybody's dogs barking there a minute ago. He was saying hi too.
Yeah, well, you know, he knows he's welcome, and his voice is always heard here.
I dropped a link in the chat in there with some Indian proverbs by Birch. If anybody wants to see them.
Thank you, Chuck. Wow. Yeah.
I forgot to say hi to Raina when she was peeking. I saw
She
her.
was. She heard me say hi to. She heard me say hi to Bo, and she had to run out here to say hi to Bo.
He keeps that up. I'm going to put him in the box too. Send him to you.
Oh, you know we love him.
Well, he loves his people.
I know he gets a little disruptive for you, but he knows we love him too. He feels it. That's why he likes to make an appearance.
Well, he's still around, so that tells you why I keep telling everybody I'm easy.
We hear Jeff every now and then. You got him in the corner or something? Has he been bad?
I was mad.
No, I don't have him in the corner. He's
Keep it
actually
up.
working.
Keep it up, Jeff. You're going to get the wooden spoon.
I remember.
Yeah.
You remember the big old giant wooden forks and spoons that would hang on your grandma's walls in the kitchen?
My mom's here somewhere.
Yours right there.
Yeah, well, mine's not a giant one though.
No, but that was.
This was carved out of a Chinese chestnut tree for us.
That's a stew spoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost big enough for me.
Yeah. Get a rack out of the oven with it.
I call those the children attention getters.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
Do
you've
you
seen the
want
great,
food?
great big ones that people hang on their walls. You can still buy them in certain places. You know, they're about 3 or 4 feet long.
My grandmother had a set of those big ones.
This is how good
Well,
our
do you
daughter is.
know that in times past, in a lot of the old ways, they needed stuff that big and that long from the pots and stuff that they were boiling. You know, if they were making like maple syrups, or if they were doing dyeing clothes or rendering hides, they needed to have those utensils that long.
That way
Yeah,
you weren't breathing in all the fumes.
My 15-gallon gumbo pot I got out there in the garage looks like a small boat oar almost, is what it looks like to stir
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, isn't that funny? We all have I think everybody remembers seeing them somewhere, right? I saw them in my grandma's kitchen. I remember them suckers. I thought, man, I hope that my mom doesn't ever break that spoon that size out on me.
I think I'd rather have the spoon than the lava soap.
I was I can't stand the taste of soap to this day. I tell you what.
And when I was really bad, I got the palm olive squirted in my mouth.
Oh,
Well, the lava stuck with you longer because it took a while to get the grit out from between
Yeah.
your teeth.
You were crunching for 2 days, and it didn't matter how many times you brushed your teeth.
that's what Jeff just said too. He had the lava soap treatment too.
Best way to get rid of that is get some taffy.
I don't have a
Yeah,
trick in
good
my
luck getting
head.
taffy after you just got soap in your mouth.
I
well,
don't
at
have
least
a
at our
trick in my
house.
head. My mother sanded them all off.
Oh my goodness.
That may be why mine broke off so bad, between that and the pain pills for 10 years. But they say that lava soap kills your enamel.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. Probably scratched it up pretty good.
I didn't chew it.
Yeah, well, in some instances, you weren't really given a choice.
I had to hold it in my mouth for 5 minutes, and then I had to bite down on it, got it pulled out. Okay, now chew and swish and hold it for another minute. Okay, you can spit it out now, but you can't have any water for another 5 minutes.
Oh,
Man, you had one tough mama.
It's that Catholic from cradle to the grave.
did you?
So I told you, it's almost like Pentecostal, ain't it?
Yeah, I was
She
raised
didn't-
Pentecostal apostolic.
Spare the rod, spoil the child. She goes and
And if
goes-
one child, at least you were an only child. I had the blessing of 2 older brothers who always got me in trouble.
If the cat knocked something down or whatever, I always did it.
Yep, my mom would line us up. You 3 line up.
But I didn't do it. I don't
Oh, Robert's got good news.
Oh, wonderful. That's awesome,
He's
Robert.
gonna fly someone out to visit him.
Coraline's feeling better.
Cool, awesome.
So
Tell her
that
great.
is
I'm glad
that
to
is
hear it.
great news. And Sage gets to come home today. I'm telling you, today's a day. There's a lot of good energy out there. I think I'm gonna have to go dance in some leaves here in a little bit.
You just say Sage is coming home today?
Yeah,
Awesome, Anna.
Jeff said, "Awesome, Anna."
Yeah, ivory soap, it don't take that long. That stuff, the whole bar turned to goo.
I once carved an entire chess set out of ivory and Irish Spring. It all melted. Didn't last very long, but it was fun. And I wasn't allowed to have a knife, so I used a pen cap because it's soap, so it's really malleable.
That's kind of like using an awl or a chisel or it had many purposes if you used it the right way.
Yeah. I always
I
like
remember-
trying to. Go ahead, Pappy.
I said I remember my mother carving shavings off the bars of ivory soap to do the laundry.
Mm-hmm.
Then she got smart, got an old cheese grater.
That and
Yeah, that's
what
how we
borax.
do our laundry detergent. We use the cheese grater and grate up the Phelps naphtha soap and
Yeah.
melt it, and simple.
My grandmother made bricks of lye, and she used that and that borax.
Yep. That's
That was
really
another
what
one
we-
of the buckets they used. Those big buckets they used when they were doing soap making. Yeah.
Yep. And
I
yeah,
think-
you had special buckets because lye reacts with certain metals, and yeah. I know the process of making my own lye out of wood ash. I just don't know how to test the strength of the lye.
I used to
I
know
think
all
it's
that.
with an egg. You do it with an egg. I have to read up some more on that before I go out and.
Well, I would imagine if you dip your finger in it and pull it out, and you see nothing but bone, it's probably too strong.
Yeah, but that's not a test I want to repeat on any kind of a routine basis.
It's a test you'd only do once. It's called a teaching.
Are you gonna do it again, Ted?
No. Oh my goodness.
That's
What
that one thing they call a matter of intelligence, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty sure you can do it like you put the concentration in a glass, and then you put an egg in it, and if the egg floats, I think it's the right consistency or the right strength for soap or something.
Right,
I'm not
right.
exactly
Yeah, the right pH.
the right pH. Thank you.
But you can also
Oh
use
yeah,
lye.
borax.
You can use lye, I think, too, to pickle eggs or whatever, keep eggs, raw eggs.
Mhm.
Right?
Yep, they'll keep for 6 or 7 months. That's how they use. I actually went and I watched like an 18th century cooking on how they used to preserve eggs for long periods of time, and it was really neat. All the different ways they used to use. It is 3:08. Hi, sweetie.
I think the
Oh, my
Chinese
goodness.
figured out how to make them last for like 1,000 years, didn't they?
I would need a
1,000
1,000-year-old
year old.
egg.
The ones that
Yeah.
you peel them and they're jet black inside like clay.
Yeah, I've seen a video. Somebody eating some of those eggs like that. They're like 100 years old. They found and were eating them. I'm like,
Blech.
That's the sulfur
I
do not want to smell.
Would not want to do that. I don't know if I could make myself do that.
then
Might not
that
want
chubby
to
guy that used to do those food videos when he go around the world, and that one continent he was on where they had the looked like a smokehouse, but it's where they hung the fish and they let the fish up until they rotted and coagulated, then become one again, and then they grate that fish like cheese and eat it.
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
What is that called? Stromberger or something? Is that the one that I think it's a Swedish delicacy? There's so much pressure in those cans after they can them. When you open it up, it squirts everywhere, and I guess it stinks like dead bodies.
Like, here, you want some? I'm like, nope.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
I'd go dig worms up in the yard and eat them before I got to that point.
Yeah, I wouldn't do that either, but how forage like the deer. If they can eat apple tree bark in the wintertime to stay alive, I'm pretty sure I could handle doing that too if I needed to.
Well, it's the inner bark that actually has the nutritional value.
I'd have figured it out.
Yeah, I figured it out eventually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
the
mean,
wet, taffy, jerky kind part, right?
Some of those foods that we can gather out there are labor intensive.
Some of them are, yep.
Yes.
Kind of like eating crab legs. Ain't a whole lot of meat for a whole lot of work.
Dad used to joke, said bananas would be good if they weren't all cob. I used to cut up. I said, "You're eating the wrong part." He goes, "I'm just messing with you."
Oh, Anna wants to join us real quick, I think, before she goes to get Sage.
She's all
There you go,
excited.
Anna.
Look at her excitement, Dan.
I'm excited for her. I know it's a hard burden when your babies are hurting, and you feel like you've exhausted all your means of helping them.
Yeah, on days when I'm cranked up or bummed out, either one, my cat's usually all over me. He's nowhere around me today. He must notice I'm in a weird mode.
Yes, hi. I'm really excited I
Dragon.
get
Hi.
to go get Sage. But I have to say, I'm sorry I don't know what I promised to do because I hit the microphone and walked away real quick after I hit send and didn't look to see what it said. I was trying to say, yes, pumice and lava soap will do that to your teeth. And it wrote in there, I promise I'll do that or whatever.
Oh,
So
subliminal
what did I
message.
promise I'd do?
Oh, you just
Predict it.
promised you'd go get Sage today.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Getting all excited about that. It's like Judy says, you look like a kid at Christmas. And I'm like, I'm more excited than I was at Christmas. So, yeah, I wanted to come up and thank you guys all again for all your prayers for her. So appreciated. She
Well,
took
you-
a big turn. Her we were really worried about her labs.
You
Numbers
Anna,
were toxic.
do us a favor, please. Have
Yes.
your camera out when you go in and pick up Sage and take a picture of her smiling at you because you're there.
Okay, I will. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that little face. I can't wait to give her a little kissy on the nose. Okay, I'll let you guys go. We're going to be taking off here pretty soon. So you have a wonderful day.
You too, honey, and we will see you around tonight, and we expect a full report on Sage.
Okay, you'll get one. Thank you so much. Judy's thanking you too.
You're welcome.
Bye-bye.
You're very welcome, both of you. Have a blessed day, hon.
You too. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Ooh, I love that. I love that, Pappy.
That's an
What is it?
energized high five.
Back
Yeah,
when I
that's
had
another-
hair, back when I had hair, I just turn on the energy and dry my hair after the shower.
Did you burn it off?
Yeah, I don't have any left anymore. How can you tell?
Don't have to waste time on drying it or shampoo, huh?
And I wash my hair I comb my hair with a washcloth now.
Well, that makes it quite more convenient, doesn't it?
It
I mean,
gives
there's like
Sir
5
Lick a
minutes
lot-
of your daily routine you don't have to do anymore.
That's right. Gives Sir Lick a little more square inches to play with, you know.
My honey bun, she sat up here and cleaned me for a good half hour straight today, and now she's knocked out, laid beside me, all relaxed. And normally she spends the entire day outside, so must feel good today. Being mama's girl today. Yeah, she's daddy's girl last night. But I like her version of mama's girl better because that means she just gets up and lays on my side of the bed and wants to be on me and touching me. And with Jeff, she has to get up and walk around his legs and try to trip him up. But it's, I love you. It's quite clearly, I love you.
Well, they have their ways of making sure that we stay active. Yeah. You know, by avoiding stepping on them or having to step over them or having to bend down and get, Bo, for example, he is so spoiled. If I give him a dog biscuit and he bites into it and parts fall on the floor, he won't go down and pick them up himself. He has to wait for me to pick them up and give them to him in his mouth.
Oh boy. That's love.
Well, Chuck, one thing I think you picked up today that, or at least I feel that you picked it up today. When you go into those chats and stuff and you see those people out there doing all that silliness and acting up and stuff, now you can just shake your head and say, without having to actually open your mouth and say it.
Yeah, because I get that way anymore. I'm just like, I try to shake my head at them because it's like, yeah, okay, I'm just done with this.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you know what? When we're trying to get ahead in life, more people we latch onto and try to drag up to where we are, the more it slows us down going forward.
Yeah.
In our individual race in our life, we can be the only winner. Okay, you can either get there completely tuckered out or get there looking for the trophy. Choice is up to yours. It's like the old saying, you make me mad at you. You can run all you want to, and all you're going to do is get your butt kicked while you're tired. And that's sometimes the way life can be too. You drag all that stuff with you, it just slows you down. You're only one horse. You're only one horse pulling one plow.
Yep.
You put a 4 or 5 or 6 bottom plow on that and try to drag that forward and see how fast you can go. You can't. Just tuckers you right out and wears you out.
I threw a recipe in there for y'all because I didn't know where else to put it.
Yeah, I thank you. I'm saving it right now.
Pappy, you like kind of weird stuff. You might like that too.
Where'd you put it?
In the private chat for this.
Okay, in the private chat. Oh yeah.
Oh.
So what I'm going to do is I've highlighted it all. I'm going to click copy, and then I'll put it in my WordPad, and I'm going to have a recipe in my files.
I made it here a while back, and this is something that just popped back up on my timeline on Facebook when I made it in 2014.
It lasted that long in the refrigerator?
That's a heck of a dish now.
I'm surprised it lasted that long in Facebook.
Chuck, if you don't mind, can I share this in chat too for everyone?
Sure.
Okay. Yeah, it's going to go in the recipe book. All right, so let me see if I can do this. Copy.
It kind of mixed it all together. It wasn't a recipe form, but it kind of blended together when I copied it.
Hold on here. Okay, so
Looks pretty good.
Probably going to be multiple messages. There we go. It's like 4 messages for the recipe, but that'll work. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I think Chuck tried to put some weight on us for the winter here.
Yeah, it's one of them.
Yeah, that sounds like some good eating.
One of them soup days. It's kind of I don't know if you ever heard another recipe ever you look up. It's made in South Louisiana, and that's chicken spaghetti. It's got spaghetti. You put your own chicken in it, but it has no spaghetti sauce. You make your own, like a cream of celery, cream of mushroom, kind of, but it's spicy, and you add cayenne to it at levels that you can stand. But it's awesome. It's cheesy too.
Cayenne is awesome. Yeah.
Chicken with mushroom and cream sauce.
Yep.
That's that one I like.
It's funny. Everybody's doing everything different to get that recipe.
Jeff likes
Robert screenshotting it. I copied and pasted it into my PC.
That's what I did. I opened a notepad and put it right on the notepad. So I have it, and then I named it Chuck's Recipe. I will not lose that one.
A good guy.
I named it Choking the Redneck Chicken.
The good guy to watch to get a lot of recipes from. I don't know if you guys ever look. He's on YouTube. His name's Ken Rollins, Cowboy Ken Rollins.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen him. We've watched him.
Isn't his wife named Shannon?
Yeah, I think so. She's like a lot younger than him, I think.
Yeah. Well, that's okay. Women know a good cook when they see one.
Oh, Dawn, that's awesome. Well, Dawn, there's all kinds of ways. Even Pappy and Chuck are both great cooks when it comes to venison and all that good stuff. I've heard both of these gentlemen give out some great recipes for those kind of meats. Dawn was saying that she has a freezer full of venison, roast, chops, burgers, and no idea how to cook them.
Venison makes awesome stew. But venison makes awesome everything in my book. I'd rather have it in chili, spaghetti, meatloaf.
It is a good hamburger substitute. It's great. My mom used to make meatballs with it. And meatloaf.
Yeah, one thing to keep in mind with venison is it has very low fat content.
Yep.
So you have to have fat replacement in it. Yeah.
You have to steam cook it too if you want it to be tender. Otherwise, it gets like grainy.
Yeah.
My buddy, one of my best friend anyway, his dad, bless his soul, he passed a few years ago. When we'd have deer meat, I found out a year or so before he died that he made German hard salami, the venison German hard salami, that the recipe I guess he carried over from his family did from Germany. And he made it for me one day, and he asked me if I had it. I said, yeah. He goes, I'll make us some salami. It was awesome.
And you can make salami right in your refrigerator. There's an Italian fella, and I don't know his name off the top of my head, that we like to watch, and he does his own like capricola and prosciutto and salami, pepperoni, and he does it right in his refrigerator in his apartment. Those are always good things to try out too.
Oh yeah. I used to make my own jerky right in my oven, right in the house.
Yeah, we do our pemmican in the oven.
Yeah. On low heat, and just really low heat.
We like the pemmican, I think, better than the jerky. I mean, we enjoy jerky, but that's just something that we'll eat the heck out of. But our pemmican, we tend to use that more for meals and stews and soups because it's so hearty, So
pemmican is a calorie dense preparation, because the original true pemmican only consisted of 2 ingredients, and that was the dried meat and the tallow that they used to mix it with. Okay,
Yep.
you can add other things. You can add spices and that sort of stuff and call it pemmican. Some added dried berries and things of that nature, but that's not the true pemmican. Anytime you put an additive in the pemmican, you shorten its shelf life.
Yeah, because otherwise, there's no moisture; it's just fat and meat, and there's no moisture, nothing in there to go bad.
And it's so rich. It is very. The flavor is out of this world. And I like it better than the jerky because of the salt and the spices that are used in the jerky. We don't buy store-bought jerky anymore because there's usually MSG and a couple other things in it that we don't care for and we don't have in our diet.
Stabilizers and preservatives.
Right. But with pemmican, you don't have any of that. You don't need any of that to make it. So there's you not having to use up all your supplies in order to make a shelf-stable food.
Well, there's one thing I want, if you're going to make pemmican, okay, and this is something that everybody should pay attention to. You need to make sure that when you source the ingredients for what it is that you're making, when you're going to dehydrate something like the protein in meat, okay, and utilize the natural lard or tallow that you utilize, try to source it from someplace that is not commercialized, so that it does not have the things that are in the normal diet. You know, for example, grass fed, it would be much more preferable. You know, free ranging beef, for example, would be much more preferable than farm raised beef, because they, unless the farmer is supplementing, you know, with aftermarket ingredients and stuff like that, it's going to be a product of the natural environment. Okay, where you can do it with other cuts and meats and stuff, but understand that they probably got hormones and antibiotics and, you know, these other things that they put into the feeds as extenders or preservatives for the feed itself.
Right.
That goes into the meat. When you dehydrate it, okay, to the point where you can make it into a powder, okay, it becomes highly concentrated. And that meat can have what they call forever chemicals in it. Okay, so really, you know, source and pay extra, you know, to produce those sort of things, or do it with
And try to buy,
yourself.
you know, Pappy, that is a very great advice too, because what other people don't realize, and talking to anybody that's got allergies out there, if you're sourcing all of your food stores from your local environment, right, and you get naturally raised cattle, that's going to help you with your allergies, because those animals have the exposures to all those local pollens from the trees and the plants and things like that, things of that nature.
Like the honey factor with bees.
Just like the honey factor with bees, your food is the same way. And if you're sourcing it local to where you are, and it's, you know, done in the right manner, the benefits of that are going to be amazing to you. And Bonnie said it wasn't meant to be a meal, it was a survival food. Yes and no. I would agree with that and disagree with that. Pemmican was a way to make the meat last through the winters, and you could be making it into a meal without having to use up any of your space that you've put maybe root vegetables in, or any other. You could store that anywhere, and that was the beauty of pemmican, is not just that it was calorie dense traveler food, but it was used before that just as a means to have that food last through hard times. So, and it is wonderful in meals. I love it.
Yeah, it's actually both. It's that versatile that it can be utilized as an addition to, you know, as an extender for other foods, or to add variety to other foods, or in by itself, you could survive on just that alone without any vegetables or whatever for quite an extended period of time. They've done quite a bit of studies on it.
Yeah.
But, you know,
And-
one thing I want to bring up, and we've talked on and touched on it a little bit, is how certain foods affect us energetically. If you stop and think of the foods that we eat, okay, and what it is that we're eating, you know, the plants and the animals, you know, and those minerals and stuff like that, it is literally, once again, we talked about circles before, things going full circle. It is an exchange of their energy into our energy system, so that our energy system works well. In other words, it's a transfer of energy by creator through that which has been created to that which he has created. So it's an energy exchange. And whatever energy is on your food or in your food that you eat, your body is taking in. Okay. And
so
that
don't
can be,
forget to bless your food.
well, yes. Or thank your food.
I had to throw that in there. And the reason I had to throw that in there is in this past year, my body personally has changed, where it started rejecting meat of any kind. I couldn't eat it. It was making me sick.
Yeah.
And I had to go back to things that I learned in my youth about blessing food, about truly giving thanks for the life force that was given so that I may eat, right? And I had to break it down all the way down to that so that my understanding of it became such that now I can still eat meat. I don't eat it as much now as I used to, but I can eat meat now, providing that I am getting, I'm using the blessing and the thanks to remember the energy of that animal, and also to take in the goodness, right? So with the world that we live in, with all the mass produced food, and these animals, a lot of them, when you're buying off of a supermarket shelf, have lived a terrible life that has ended just as poorly as it was lived, through no fault of their own. So we do need to think about that and work towards that thankfulness, giving thanks and being grateful, and saying may the best energy, from this life that was given for mine, nourish me, right? And that's really important. And I think a lot of times we underestimate the importance of that. But even Raina has recently, in the last 2 or 3 months, there are times when she's like, Mom, I can't eat this. It doesn't taste good to me. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. So here's what we do. And then, this is how we do it. And this is why we do it. And then taste it again and see if it doesn't taste better now.
You bring up some really profound thoughts for people to banter around in their heads a little bit. As I had mentioned earlier, everything is connected, and we just exchange energy and everything with these other organisms, because we need it to live. They need certain things to live, that sort of thing. So it's appropriate to give thanks. Matter of fact, that's part of my evening prayer every night, is to give thanks. I try to remember what I've ate that day, and ask Creator to bless the energies of the four-legged or the winged that I ate, or the fish, that I ate, or the green growing things and things of that nature. Okay, to thanks for that energy. That, I think that's an important part of us understanding who we really are. And by extension, once we realize who we really are, you need to understand that you can be the eyes and the ears and the voice for these other things out there in our environment. We can talk. We can see what's going on. We can say something about it and do something about it. Just like the guy that was going through marking the trees the time the buffalo cried. It was his realization that he could do something to change things that are. You're the eyes, ears, and mouth for these other creatures. Not because you have dominion over them, but because you have respect for them. There's a big difference. That's another thing that makes us as a two-legged special. Why Creator put us in this station in life, to be in good harmony with all of creation. Why? Because we're co-creators with Creator. We can do something about it if we're aware of it. If we remember who we are.
The great remembering. I think we're there. I think we're in that time where we, as a society, are waking up to realizing that we are indeed all related.
At least the 22 that are watching now.
It's something special to be where we are right now,
I mellowed out how I felt earlier, and now my cat comes in and hangs out with me.
There you go.
That's weird, ain't it? You can feel the vibes or something.
Oh, they do.
They do. Yeah. So do dogs, but I think cats have a way with them about your spiritual
We might
energy.
not believe it, don't mean it ain't so.
Granted, on the camera, he looks like a shadow instead of a cat, but
Well, he's
Well, that in
gorgeous.
itself is a teaching,
seen
isn't
him.
it? We all have a shadow side.
yeah. My wife calls him a miniature panther, the way he stalks around, and he's little too for a cat, and he thinks he's big as a house, except when that other cat's out.
You know, it's something if we think about it. Animals don't realize what size they are. They have no concept of bigger than, smaller than, more than, or less than any other animal in their species, right? Dogs, the tiniest dogs have the biggest attitudes, right? They have no concept of their size in relation to the Great Dane that they're telling to back off, right? Cats are the same way to a large extent. And if you think about the many domesticated animals that are out there, and they really just have no concept of their size. And I wonder, being that we are still part of the animal kingdom, if we could just not have any concept of our physical size, but always have that concept of our spiritual, how much more in harmony could we be, you know?
Yep.
I think everybody's spiritual center is the same size. That doesn't mean that they're all glowing at the same brightness. And I think as the brighter the spiritual center glows, the more it expands. So in that aspect, you might say it has more volume. It doesn't mean it's any bigger or denser or whatever, but it might have more
Right.
volume, more expansiveness. Okay. But, when it comes all down to it and everything, and Creator pulls all that back together, and all the matter in the known universe is condensed into one spot, how much space does it really take up? But yet, all the energy is there.
It's like everybody having $100, and it's not. You need more money. It's what you do with what you have.
Yep.
We're all just Christmas lights on the big giant tree.
Well, all of mine,
All go up.
every other one of mine is burnt out.
Listen, I want to say this too. Saying that each color is different, each light is different. And when you think about it that way, it kind of puts it into perspective a little bit, I think. Because the bulb that burns the brightest is the one that's going to burn out next, right? Like, we all have seen that that bulb is really lit up. Hope it lasts, right? Till we take the tree down. I think if we could learn to see through different eyes, I think that may be to the key. That perception is everything, both good and bad, light and dark. All of it is perception, I think. It's just amazing to me because I can see it only from my point of view, but I can see how many times in my life my perception of the entire universe as it sits for me has changed.
Yeah, too many
Little bit
people
of-
pay too much attention to the greater picture when they should be looking at parts of it. Be glad what
Yeah.
you have, not what you don't.
Yeah, well, you got to be careful. You can be awestruck and gawking at the splendor of those beautiful mountaintops and the sunlight and the colors that it's painting there, and not watching where you're stepping and walk right off the edge of the cliff. So everything is part of the whole, and the hard part is trying to maintain awareness of the whole when you're only part of the whole. So you need to maintain awareness of the whole being of where you are and who you are right now. You can only see the whole of your universe where you're standing by turning in a circle and looking in all directions. In other words, expanding your awareness. And expanding your awareness doesn't only mean, keeping your head on a swivel and things of that nature, but expanding your awareness with your energetic abilities to perceive your environment around you and the subtle energy changes, because you are capable of doing that. Call it intuition or whatever you want to call it, gut feeling or whatever, tingling on the skin, whichever way it manifests yourself. You all have that capability of doing it. It's something that just needs exercise. Once you realize you can do it, and you get the joyful surprise of having done it at least once. If it can be done once, it can be repeated. And as you repeat it and become familiar with it, you become adept at doing it when and if you need to. So it's a progress, one step at a time.
Yeah, my dad was pretty humble about a lot of stuff. He used to tell me all the time. He goes, even when you get to be my age, he goes, always remember everything you know you could fit through the eye of a needle.
Good point. I always put it this way: everything you know is what you know. It's not what somebody else knows.
Yeah.
This is true. This is true. So how do we go about planting the seeds for the next generation then? We can only speak from personal.
A lot of unlearning.
True. There is a lot of unlearning that needs to be done. I agree with that.
Well, if we don't have to let the fields go fallow, okay, for a period of time, then that means that we need to go in and strip out the existing crop that's there and pull the weeds on the ground before the seed is planted. Otherwise you're just going to get another crop of weeds, or another crop of those genetically modified seeds that's been producing poor crops in the past. And that's kind of the way that I look at what we need to do. And it's a whole thing of unlearning untruths, okay, and relearning truths that were hidden, or perhaps rediscovering truths that were thrown away and discarded and lost forever. And that's like breaking brand new ground when you do that. You have to not only break up the earth and stuff like that and disc it and rake it and everything else, you got to pick the stones out of it and level up the low spots and the high spots. If you're looking at it in that manner of producing a crop and planting seeds, then you have to hope and pray for the right conditions that the seeds will sprout and take root and can be taken care of. So it's a process, and to try to do that in more than one place at one time. You can't be every place at one time. So that means there needs to be a collective coming together of enlightenment for this to happen. That's beyond us. That's in Creator's realm. It's only for us to be able to plant where we are.
My insight usually falls into something: hope for the best, expect the worst, and pray for something in the middle.
Well, it used to be when I started years ago, I'd put the plants in the ground and say, good luck.
That's us. Yep, that's us being in our present 3D world.
Yep. Very seldom will you get results without effort. At least results that you would appreciate. I mean, by doing nothing, you're going to get a result, but it's not a positive result
Right.
because
is it
doing
they
nothing
say?
is always a choice, isn't it?
It is. It is just like every other choice that we make.
Yeah, you can't always have everything, but if you work at it, you can get what you require.
I've found that I've always had what I needed. And I'm
Old
always,
Rolling-
I
Old
got to be
Rolling
thankful
Stones
for that.
thing. The old Rolling
Even if,
Stone song, huh?
yeah. Well, yes and no. I haven't always liked what I needed, but I've always needed it. But you know, I'm one of those people that I've learned a lot of my lessons the hard way. And so I learned a long time ago to just go ahead and say, listen, whatever message you have, smack me in the forehead and knock me down, because I don't know if I'll hear any of it, you know, in the subtle tones. You may need to shout at me.
That's where I like everybody deserves the truth, no matter how harsh it is.
Yes. But
I don't even want to be tiptoed into it. Just here it is.
that's the truth from one person's perspective.
Yeah.
There are many truths in the world that we live in. And that doesn't make them wrong. It just makes them different. They see it from a different point of view. And I think we have to be respectful of that. When we hear somebody speaking their truth, that's their truth. That's not necessarily our truth. It may be that some of it resonates with us, but it's our feet that walk the path. Nobody can carry us. You can't be carried. That's just not how this works. And no matter how many people we want to pick up and put on our shoulders, if their feet haven't touched the path, how much of it do they really know?
If everything was easy, then everybody'd have it.
This is true. Oh.
Well, it's
But I think
interesting, you know. It's always, like you say, it's always about perception. And some people go through life with everything they need, but they're blind. Okay? They can't see. They can't see. They got their eyes wide shut. That's why I changed my avatar.
I like that.
Call out into the darkness. I can't see. I can't see. I'm starving.
That's what Craig the Hunter prays for every time he goes in the woods.
That deer that wanders up that can't see because his head is covered with the food.
That's great. Here, let me show. I want to show you. Yeah.
I can't see you.
Robert said hi.
Robert. Hi, everybody.
I promise I didn't beat him too hard with the wooden spoon.
I hear somebody knocking. I'm gonna get off here. Love y'all. Have blessings for y'all. Have a great day.
Many blessings for you too. I hope you're
You too,
in a
Chuck.
better place.
Remember, Badger, throw dirt on him and walk away after you
That's
bury him.
right.
And always remember, you got two of them too. So you show them as you walk away.
That's right. And duck.
Yeah. Bye, y'all.
All right.
Have a great day, Chuck. Oh, what a great day. Wonderful day. And for any of you listening that weren't here at the beginning, I want to say once more, thank you, not just for your service, but for standing up in a time and a place where it may or may not have been widely accepted to do so, to fight for the betterment of humanity. because I think when you sign up for service, your intention is always bigger than yourself. And so just so you guys know, we appreciate you. Thank you. All the veterans out there, all the active duty out there, we do appreciate you. We may not appreciate the government who tries to give you guys orders, but we do appreciate you and your service.
All my brothers and sisters that have served, you have my great respect because I know what you and your families went through during that time. Okay. And I'm pretty well assured that most, if not all of you, remember the oath that we took, that oath of enlistment. And to all the people that are not military experienced, okay, basically that oath gave us the authority to take care of good and evil. And we have that authority as people individually. We take an oath. We take an oath literally unknowingly by our very first breath that we took when we came from the womb. We took an oath to have a life that Creator gave us, to live it in a way that we could, the best way that we could. Okay, once we learned that we had the ability to make choices that could affect how we utilize that great gift, then we can remember that oath we took. That makes you much more powerful than you think you are, much more significant than you think you are. Although I look at myself no more than a grain of sand on the beach of creation, I can feel the rubbing of the grain of sand next to me and know that that grain of sand is connected to another grain of sand. Okay? So follow your oath to live a good life. Walk it, honor, and respect. Because you know where we're all headed. We're all headed to the same place, the same destination at some point in time. You're going to get there at different times, but we're going to get there all at the same time. Aquani friends, I'm going to let you go. I'm jumping off here. I'm going to go feed the cats.
Many blessings, Pappy. We love you. And thank you so much for coming up. And thank you so much for your service to all of us in the many ways that you have provided it.
And have a great afternoon.
Love and light. And on that note, I think we're going to go ahead and close out today's show. I know many of you will be heading over to Mr. Riddle's channel. So we will see you around. And if nothing else, we'll see you tomorrow. Love you all.
Have a great afternoon.
Great blessings, everyone.